Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to figure out how the hell to sign into this thing.
Yo, what up, Taz fam? We're
You.
live right now, coming at you from 44 HQ. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is up and running over here. Grab my headphones. But yeah,
Headphones.
if you're catching the replay, welcome to the replay. All right,
Where
let's
the
see.
hell?
We're just getting set up here. We got Capro sniffing around. He's attacking Jay before, so
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's doing that.
yeah, he's usually pretty docile. Like if he attacks you, um, he'll lick you to death afterwards. He'll like give you like a love bite, and then he's very passive. He's like the runt, you know.
Well, it's not. I don't think he's. I don't get the impression that he's trying to hurt me.
He's just he might just be in a mood, in
Yeah,
like a
they get
playful
that way.
mood.
They get that way.
Right. Let me just check.
Yeah, I'm trying to
check in
remember
here.
when I made that cart to begin with.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us and you want to, if you're checking out the replay, you can always 2x or 1.5x through. It's a little trick I picked up when I've been
Yeah.
going through some past live streams, and just checking in on the audio right here. Oh yeah, sounds good.
So I guess to answer that question, no, I did not save the cart, which means I will have to remake the cart. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we're just talking about the TaskFam Kickstarter preamp that we're building. Jay's building, and we just got it. We're gonna order the parts for it. That's our next move with that. What's up, guys? We got Twin coming through. We got Two Rare. What up?
What up?
Coop. What's up, guys? Boys, I'm about to scream here at work. What happened, dude? You about to throw the microwave? That's what I always used to say when I was getting frustrated at work. I was about to throw the microwave across the room. I got that from my buddy Sean. What's going on over there, Twin? If there's anything we can do to calm your besides burn down your place of work.
Oh, don't say that out loud.
Now we're implemented. Or what are we indicted? No. What is that called?
Oh my god.
I can't think of the word.
Well, it ain't. It's not impregnated. I know that. We're implicated.
Implicated. That's
Implicated.
right. Implicated.
Implicated.
All right, we'll have to delete the stream after we're done, so nobody knows.
Jesus. We've been implicated.
Coop said, "I'm leaving my Wednesday evenings open just for this." Thank you. Thanks, Coop. That's awesome. Ooh, I just spilled my water.
Did you actually spill it?
No, luckily I had the cap
Okay,
on it.
good. Jesus.
Just gonna turn this light on, see if
There you
that
go.
matters. I don't know. Probably too bright. I'm trying not to. It's alright. The phone is pretty good at like managing the light. Let's see. It looks alright. I didn't think it made much of a difference, but
I can turn my media down.
that's awesome. Thanks for keeping your. We keep this open for on our Wednesdays too to do the
Yeah.
stream too. So.
That's weird, isn't it?
I'm just salty because I was about to head out and head to band practice when I got swamped with 8 cars, and now I'm gonna miss what? That sucks.
That definitely sucks.
Yeah, dude. At least you won't miss a stream. That's right.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you here. Maybe it all worked out.
Wait, is that 8 cars for what? Oil changes or something? What's the? Is it service?
I think Twin's like a valet, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Valet?
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't know that.
Yeah, valet.
Huh. So you gotta park them and give them their little ticket and shit, and be polite to them, even though you really wanted and need to be someplace else.
I guess it wouldn't take a lot to burn down your valet stand.
Jesus.
I'm assuming it's like in the banana stand from what is that show?
I don't know.
George Michael. I'm picturing it being or like the scent stand that like they sell lemonade out of and peanuts. It's like a small stand.
That's awesome, Coop.
Cars, he parks and I sell them. What up, Matt?
You.
Y'all want some cars?
Yo, you got anything good in there tonight, or?
Oh, Coop said I just started working at Motorco Music Hall here in Durham and get to see free shows. That's awesome. What are you doing in like the door or bar? That's cool. I wish I could be more involved in some kind of a music venue. Arrested Development, that's right.
Word.
Thank you, Coop.
Twin, could it be like Fight Club where they roll up and like the guy just hands them off a car and then they go like ghost ride it off the shoulder?
Oh yeah, that's a crazy part. Have you read the book? The book's really good.
I bet the book is fucking nutty because I know like the movie is.
They did a really
nutty.
good job with the movie. Like I feel like that's one of the rare. I know this is one of the rare instances where I usually feel like the book is never as good or the movie is never as good as the book, but that one, both are excellent.
I actually wasn't even aware that there was a book.
Oh really? I have a copy. I actually borrowed it from my friend Shannon, who said I could keep it. So. Huh. I'll pass it along and you can check it out.
I never read books, but I appreciate it.
It's a good one though, man.
I know.
It's one where I feel like if you start reading it, you'll probably finish it because it's very, I don't know, it's got a really good pacing to it. So highly recommended. Welcome to, if you're just joining us, this is Jay and Mike's book club, and where we discuss our favorite books that I read and Jay watches the movies of. JK. But yeah, Fight Club's a sick book, sick movie.
I fucking love that. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, I think.
Oh yeah, this is a great movie.
Just because it's like so grimy and fucked up, like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really easy to move into like the.
It's got a great mood.
But it's easy to move into the headspace of like the character, like what it would be like to be in that shitty house and like.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, it's like there's something about it. I don't know, the lighting of it or the mood of it. Like I was just really connected with. And obviously I don't know, actually Pixies at the end.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't hurt.
Great soundtrack as well. Yeah. So it's like.
Coop, I used to be a food runner for a restaurant in Kingston up here. I used to have to run up and down 2 flights of fucking stairs and help waitresses who were really fucking lazy make sure that they got their tips. And yeah, that's a tough job.
Yeah, you got to start. You always got to start somewhere too with it. That's cool because you're saying that I'm going to do bartending and sound engineering. That's awesome. I would love to do something like that, like a music venue. Cool, man. I feel like we don't have a lot of venues like that around here that could support. I mean, I guess not around where I am, but
well,
it's kind of like there's just places that have shows, not really like
everything around here is sort of closed loop. Like the Chance, like they have a running roster of people they use, and
that's in Poughkeepsie, New York. If anybody's, that's like one of the bigger, probably like the most. Like,
that's the biggest one around here.
Yeah. Other
than like the Mid-Hudson Civic Center or whatever, but mixing the Chance fucking sucks anyway. So
now isn't there two aspects? There's like the Chance, and then there's like, isn't there a smaller room or a bigger room?
Up on top of it, the Loft, yeah.
The Loft, that's right.
The Loft actually is easier to mix and sounds better than the Chance.
The Chance is like the room that's like
it's a giant.
It has the
theater.
balcony and it has like the
yeah. But mixed
I
position.
I Spoon there. It was pretty good.
Mixed position is underneath the balcony.
Like sound was. Huh. Oh yeah, that's right.
That is I've mixed that room like.
Yeah, I remember like we were up on
now.
The balcony looking down. I remember we could see.
I've mixed that room 6 or 8 times now.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's
what bands were you mixing when you did that? Was it like 3 or?
I mixed Sugar Red Drive there a bunch of times. I mixed Antidote 8 there a couple times.
Cool. I remember you had that preset on your.
I mixed a band that my brother was in there one time called the Dylan Emmett Band, which was like a singer-songwriter guy.
Dylan Emmett, that sounds so familiar.
He's from down here. I don't know whatever happened to him, but I mixed him there one night.
Dylan Emmett, I gotta look that up because I feel like I either know Dylan or I've met him.
I don't really remember what he looked like, but.
Oh. Sounds familiar. I don't see any sort of anything really coming up immediately. Let me try music. Huh.
Go back to where you were before.
We're just looking up
on the sidebar. There was a whole thing.
Oh yeah, available on.
Yeah.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. Oh yeah, 2016. Looks like their last release.
Yeah, I can't even remember what that shit sounded like, but my brother played bass and recorded one of the records.
That's awesome. It sounds super familiar. I feel like I either know Dylan or I've been in contact with him or something. Or maybe I just saw something with Dave when he was playing with him, or
I also got
somehow that connection.
I got hired to mix Adler's Appetite at the Chance one night.
What's that?
That's the ex-drummer of Guns N' Roses. He does like a...
What is it called?
Adler's Appetite.
Cool.
He has a band that he plays drums in that covers basically Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, I was just going to say Adler's Appetite for Destruction. Yeah.
That was the only record he was on, as far as I know. So I got hired for that job, and
Great record to cover then.
I got out of work early and drove down there and turned the system on and got it all ready to go, and then like this other dude showed up. So I had been hired by the kid who was like the acting sound guy there at the time, and the guy who owned the place found out that the acting sound guy wasn't going to be there, so he called in one of their old sound guys, and so there were two of us standing there. I was like, well, I don't really like Guns N' Roses, so why don't you just go ahead and do it, and I'll go home.
Is that what happened?
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
So what the owner didn't trust you to do it or something?
He didn't know I was coming.
Oh.
Justin, who was the kid in charge at the time, called me up and asked me to do it.
It was like you said, it was like a last minute thing, right?
Yeah.
Yo, can you tell us a little about your past with engineering and like live engineering? Because you were like on the road with bands, right? Mm-hmm. This is something I don't think I ever really talked to you about much. Like I've kind of known, and we've had conversations where in passing I picked up that you were like a live engineer, and I know that you obviously do really good live sound because the shows we played together and everything. So tell us a little bit about your history with...
What do you want to know, man?
I don't know. Like, how did you get involved with that? What was the lifestyle like? What was it like to be like mixing a band live in all these different rooms every night? Like, I don't know. What were some of the things you took away from that? What are some memories that stick with you from it, or like, you know,
some memories?
Or I guess like, what are some things you took away from it that aid you in your day-to-day today, or like, because we were talking today about how like everything kind of influences everything else, or like...
So my live sound background started, I guess, like mixing punk bands and bands that I was playing with. Like we would show up to this venue in Kingston to play, and there was no sound person, but there was a board, so I would mix for the night our band and whoever else's bands were playing, and that was sort of where it started. But and in 2008, I was talking to my friends in that band, thru, and the guitar player was insistent that I come out and run live sound for them. I resisted for as long as I possibly could, and then he sort of just like undermined me every possible way he could until I had no choice but to cave. And so I went out on that run, and the first night was at a place called Les Fouffons Electriques, and that's in Montreal. It's a 2 or 3 story venue. It's a huge room though, the top floor. And I think David's from Montreal, right?
Yep.
So David will know this room, I'm sure.
We got Mr. Nano. What's up? Jeb came through. Hey guys, just a quick shout out. We're going back into Jay's history of live sound engineering right now.
So I rolled up, and my experience with live sound was like 16 channel Mackie boards and stuff. And I rolled up to this thing, and it was like a 40 channel console and like racks of outboard gear and, you know, all this crazy shit. And I had no fucking idea how to patch any of it. Like, I knew what I needed and where I needed it. I had no idea how to get it there or what to do with it. So there was a guy, Rennie Garcia was his name. He's like a psychobilly punk rock record producer guy. He got subbed in to be like my assistant for the night. So he had a real like kind of thick French accent, which I won't insult anybody by trying to cop on the live stream. But he basically said that, you know, you tell me what you need to hook up and I'll show you how to do it on this board and we'll get through it. I said, all right, cool. So I told him what I needed, and he helped me patch it up. And the show went really well. The sound was good. Not great, but good. And the next night we were in Toronto. I think it's called the Mod Club. It's a real big venue. But the live sound is out like in a crow's nest. So you go to the upper level, and then you go like a half level down into this little basket, like you have to be authorized to get into.
Whoa.
And there was this older dude who was a sound engineer there. He was kind of like a grumpy, gruff fucking dude, you know. And he saw like this young kid. I was like, I think I was 24. Wow. Yeah, I was 24. I wasn't even 25 yet.
Damn, yeah, 2008 was like 10 years ago, huh?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm this 24-year-old punk-ass kid walking in, like, my Chucks and stuff, and, like, but I walked in like a fucking boss on that. What I had learned the night before about patching things and how I needed things to be set up, I rattled off as fast as I could to this old fucker. And by the end of the night, you know, this has happened a lot, and a lot of my stories end this way, where like the house guy's like drunk in a corner, like eating cheese sticks and shit. By the time like the band I'm mixing goes on, because I kind of move in and take over, and then they don't need to be there. But I called out my patches to that guy, and he's like, "Holy shit," you know, fucking. But by the time we were done with that patch and me calling the channels and inputs and stuff, he had totally dropped his whole grumpy Gus thing and fucking chilled his shit out.
Yeah, because there's like certain kind of personalities that you always meet, right?
Oh yeah.
That would be a funny like blog post or like short ebook or something to write about.
I had a promoter in Ohio one time tell me that
the type of sound engineers that you make.
This guy, he was a younger guy. He was probably like 30 then. I think I was 25 or 26. We were on tour with Sugar Red Drive, and I advanced the show. I called him up and I said, you know, this is what I need. This is who we are. This is what we're coming with. This is how many people we are. The rider is here. If you're going to do anything about the rider, please at least include water. And he proceeded to tell me how he loves nothing more than to eat, what did he say? Chew up young tour managers and spit them out. And I said something to him like, if you try to take a bite out of me, they won't find you. Oh. And we got to the venue that night, and or it was about
Cage match.
It was a week later. We got to the venue, and that dude showed up, and he was wearing like tap out gear and all this bullshit. And he came around the side of the van, and there's four of us smoking, leaning against the side of the van, all haggard and shit. And here comes this shiny ass little motherfucker. And he asked which one of us was me. And I said, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah.
And he came up and he's like, "Yo, man, I never had anybody throw it back in my face like that before. Mad props, man." I'm like,
and you have a lifelong
I'll
friend?
slit your fucking jugular vein and put you in the trailer and drop you off the next spot, bro. The next place we're going's got alligators.
There you go.
Fuck you, dude.
Easy disposal.
But I don't know. There was a lot of interesting.
So it sounds like the characters are kind of the things that you remember the most from it.
There's a lot of like real grumpy fucking sound guys that you really gotta like crack the
That's
shell
kind of
on.
like my impression, like just having been somebody playing live shows.
Yeah.
There's always like somebody who's super grumpy, somebody who doesn't really want to be there.
They all think they know more than you, and they expect that you're gonna treat them like shit. So they roll in with like the ice wall is up, the shields are up. I rolled into Seattle's a great example where the sound guy was gruff and ended up drunk in the corner by the end of the night. The place was called the Viper Room in Seattle. It's up sort of on Capitol Hill, or it was. It's closed now. I went back there actually like 5 years ago just to like retrace my steps.
Yeah, Seattle's changed a lot.
So, Greedy Greg is the guy's name. He runs a company called Greed Tone. They make, I think...
Greedy Greg?
Yeah, I think they only make one distortion pedal still, but he makes a pedal. He was the front of house engineer for the presidents of the United States of America when they were popular. So he had his shit all set up the way he liked it and whatever.
90s.
Yeah, so I rolled in and, you know, I gave him my input list and all that shit. And he was real fucking super grumpy, man. And then he heard me put the drum mix up. And he just stepped the fuck back and he left me alone. And that was it. I mixed the local opener, the touring direct support, and the band I was working with that night. He just sat off in the wings and was like...
He was like, wow, I got a night off.
Viper Room? It might have been... No, it was, I think that was...
Viper Room? Yeah.
King Cobra. King Cobra.
Huh.
That's what it was called.
Yo, Mr. Nano, you got some tracks? Send them around, man.
Nice. But yeah, I don't know. I ran into shit like that a lot. I also ran into, I think I told you before, I ran into things where I would like send the house guys home and stuff.
Yeah.
Just fucking leave. If you don't know, leave. Don't be here. But
I'm gonna email Jeremy right now. Actually, I have his email. They were talking about, the guys in the chat were talking about I Am Exodus Now. Somebody who's Jeremy, who's part of the Cassette Chain project. He's was coming through the chat a lot. And was coming out to hang out. Everybody's like, "What happened to him?" And they're like saying the Grammy operatives must have bagged him, and it's possible. So I'm gonna reach out to him now because I was talking to him pretty frequently, and then I haven't heard a peep from him. So let's see. Let me see if I email. I'm gonna say, "Hey, dude, we're live right now. Everybody's looking for you. We live right now. Come, everyone's looking for you. How are you?" Let's see if we can get him to come out. Everyone's looking for you in the chat, man. How you doing? All right, let's see. Let's see if he comes through. That's my only way I know to contact him. So, but yeah, we haven't seen him. I don't know what happened to him. Something else is here too. I think there was one of our old Task Fam crew that used to come through a lot. So let's see what happens with Jeremy. So I just emailed him, and we'll see what happens. Hey Matt, what's going on, man? Yeah, I was wondering what happened to him too. Task Fam Calvin you out. He snapped and was like, "Don't tell me how to set my fucking amp." Wait, what? Calling LOL.
Hey man, I'm on the live stream.
What's up? Yep, that's his name. Calvin.
I can't. I gotta
shit out of the sound guy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man.
So,
yeah, let's. Okay, sounds good. Bye.
Let's see. Just found out. I'm working on tunes. Yeah, I'm curious about the.
Answer that.
What's that?
I said I didn't mean to answer that.
Oh, that's all good. Heard about a couple weeks about maybe someone submitting to the con, but I haven't heard back. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. That at least he's still like floating around. But yeah, I haven't heard from him. I don't know. I know for a while he wasn't feeling the greatest. But let's see. Maybe he'll come out. Let's see.
Twin, the amp volume sound guy issue comes up a lot, and there are some bands who don't understand how things work. That's a point blank. It's not really the sound guy's job to have to tell you to turn your amp down if you're listening to the room. But I find that a lot of times when those issues come up, it's either an inexperienced sound person or an underpowered system or both. I mean, even in a small venue with a kick-ass system, I don't give a fuck how loud your amps are. I'll just push the drums up above you if you're too loud. We'll just blow the house down. Doesn't matter. But I was at this venue, The Chance, one night. I was teching the guitar rig for Whip Wilton of Queensryche, and we're recabling his rack, and I had to fix a couple of his outboard processors and stuff. And the house guy and the touring sound guy were in a fight because the balcony PA system, which is a mono 5,000 watt three-way system, was completely out. It wasn't working at all. So these two guys, instead of trying to figure out a solution to fix the thing, were just having like a verbal chest-to-chest altercation about it. So I had to split those two guys up and remind them both of what their positions were and what we were here to do. And then I called one of the local sound companies, and we sent a runner out with an SUV to pick up a whole new rack of shit.
Oh, I remember this story.
A whole setup. And yeah, right before the show went off, we had the upstairs mains running and tuned, and neither one of those two guys are to thank for that. Because people don't keep level heads. When there's a fire, you don't run around and scream fire. You figure out how to put out the fucking fire.
Hell yeah, man.
That's how it works. And that's anybody who's never toured or never run sound, like, that's what you need to know about touring and or running live sound. Like, the things you see, the things you do, the places you go, none of that means shit. Learn how to put out fires, learn how to be resourceful, and stay on your game. And the rest of whatever happens is what's going to happen. And you'll meet people who, like, want to fight you or, like, aren't happy that you're in their club or really like you and won't leave you the fuck alone while you're trying to work or, there's a multitude of situations, but...
Yeah, I mean, how do you think that attitude develops of, like, grumpy Gus? It's like the way people have been treating those people?
It's the way that people treat them, but it's also, like, most of the people that you find in house mixing positions are, like... I would say it's mid to late 40s and then up through, like, probably the late 50s. So these are older, grumpy guys that have been running sound places or on tours for fucking ever. And they have one way of doing it, and no matter what it is that you do, it's not their way. So it's, it's basically putting a stick in the shit.
Yeah.
And, but usually you can crack the shell as long as you play nice and be assertive.
Yeah. And I think if you come in and kind of show that you know what you want or know, I don't know, are willing to work with what the person thinks is, I don't know. I've had nothing but good experiences with house sound people usually in general. I think, and like you're saying, I think it's just a matter of if you meet them at the middle or like come to them in a respectful way, it's kind of.
Well, I mean,
I've never had like too big of an issue. I just know that like, because I see those kind of people as a challenge, and I think it's fun to kind of like let me see what's up with this person. Like, how far can I how nice can I be to this person until it's gonna be like they're finally gonna like crack a smile or something.
Well, here's what I usually do when we roll someplace to play a show. If there's an actual sound guy, the first thing I do is I go and I meet that guy. Second thing I do is I make that guy aware of the technical services and the things that I do and the things in the past that I have done.
Yeah.
And then I leave him alone and I go do the band things.
Yeah.
And then he has all that time to let that sift and filter and process. And then when it's time for us to put our shit on the stage, he can tell me which inputs he would like to use. Then he doesn't even have to run back and forth.
Yeah.
So if you become part of the clockwork for that night, then you lighten that guy's load.
Right. And it's a stressful job.
And he's, I mean, if you don't
manage
I think with
the personalities involved.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. I mean, I've met a lot of
because it's a lot of managing people.
Well, I mean, some places have a stage manager and then they have a sound guy. Some places the sound guy is in charge of everything. You don't want me to be the stage manager and the sound guy. Because if you have a 30-minute time slot and the changeover is 10 minutes and it takes you 20 minutes to change over, you now have a 20-minute time slot.
Yeah.
And I will hold you to that, to the second. Because I can't stand that shit. We're on a schedule. Everybody's got stuff to do. You had a load in time. You knew what you needed to do and where it needed to be. And you're still dragging ass. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Oh, Coop said, I'm aiming to be a sound guy at Motorco, so that... Good advice to hear. Great. I'm glad that this is some words of wisdom from Jay about this, because I've been wanting to pick Jay's brain about this for a while.
So if you want to be the sound guy at that place, here's my advice.
What's up, Easy?
Learn all about the system. Research what the board is. Ask the guy who's in charge of it or the person who's in charge of it how things are set up and wired, and ask the tiny questions that, will be important someday. What does this aux do? What does that button do? Find out all those things and know as much as you can, because there'll be a day where, that sound person will last minute call out, and then you'll have the hot seat.
Yeah, that's actually always a really good way to get any kind of job. Is be the person who shows up when the regular person cannot.
Yeah, easy. That's sort of what I'm saying. If you go in there and let that person know that you're not there to ruin their shit. You're there to help them make sure that you all have a good show. You know, usually that does it, but sometimes you gotta, you know, there's some muscle work involved and people get nasty. It's just, you know. But I mixed the Troubadour in L.A. one night, and the house guy there was like, he was probably in his mid-30s, super energetic. I'll never forget that dude. Kenny was his name. He was running all over the place. He was like this little jacked dude, you know, with all fucking muscles and shit, running around like crazy. And man, we just had like the best night though. Like his whole environment was positive. Like there was no airs, no bullshit
dude,
about like you know.
That's what I can't fucking stand about so much around here, and just like music stuff in general is like airs. You know,
yeah, there was no bullshit, and that was in
bullshit. It's like
that's the Troubadour in L.A. I mean, like they've been hosting some of the fucking biggest names there ever were since what, the late '50s or some shit. I mean, it was an honor to get to mix that room, and that was a Metal Blade Showcase night too. That one was fun.
Twin said, "Goddamn, another car." I'm using all their windshield wiper fluid. Jeb said, "Do you guys ever have bands that open for a big name and get treated like crap?" That sounds like a question for Jay.
Yeah, one of the bands I was working with opened for, Christ, what the fuck are they called? The singer's name is Spider. It's Rob Zombie's brother. Static X.
Static X.
Static X. I think it is this. Wait, no, it's not Static X. Powerman 5000.
Racer X.
No. Put in Spider.
Singer?
Yeah. I forget what the fucking band is called. I think it's Power Man.
That's the dude?
Spider 1? Spider 1. Does it say anything
Power
about...
Man 5000?
Yeah, Power Man. So the Power Man 5000 show was in... oh, man. It was called the Fire Club. It's down south in the U.S. someplace. So catering showed up. And the band didn't want any of the other bands, openers, direct support, any of us in their back lounge area. And there was only one green room, and the green room was the only place in the whole place in the middle of July that had AC. So all the bands were standing in like the edge of it while Power Man was in the back doing their thing. So catering shows up, and like their tour manager came out and like, it's like, oh yeah, you guys can't have any of the catering until Power Man, you know, until my guys get what they've been promised, and you know, basically like, fuck you guys, Jesus, fuck your riders, you know. It's like, and then the singer guy for Power Man came out while his house guy was ringing out the monitors, and like he was the gopher on stage calling frequencies to like notch out of the monitor graphs and stuff. It was just about the most painful thing I've ever watched an engineer have to do. That sound guy was so fucking pissed.
Wait, what? Sorry, I missed that.
So basically,
he came out,
he was calling frequencies. So you point a mic at a monitor and you see what its feedback band is.
And you cut that out.
And you notch it out.
Yeah.
So you got this little asshole, little spiky haired dick, walking around with a shitty wireless mic, pointing it at everything, going, nope, 2,500 down. No, that's 75. You know, like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Basically telling the house guy or the touring guy rather, how to do his fucking job. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there with their guy while he's doing it, and he's like, this guy's such a fucking dick. Like, yeah, dude. But
Matt said, was it Firestone in Orlando?
No, it was Fire Club in. Man, I forget. It was with Royal Bliss and shit, I forget what the other band was. It's definitely called the Fire Club. I want to say it's like maybe Mississippi.
That's Skiz's hometown, a home state, right?
Let me Google that and see.
Tin said, we got a show in DC with billed as pop legend Frank Secich. And he got there late, missed all the opening bands, and was kind of a prick even when I bought a 7-inch. Oh, real class. Sounds like a real class act.
Hmm.
I had a friend promote a party with Goldie, and he was a total asshole. Drummer and bass legend.
If I just found the right
Never
thing.
heard of it here in the SIP.
Oh, permanently closed.
What was it called? Fire Club?
Fire Club in Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson.
And this is going back, that was 2009. Trying to see if I can find any pictures of it. But anyway.
Maybe Birmingham?
No, it's Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, Jackson.
That's what it said. Yeah, that place sucked, though.
Well, it's permanently closed now, so.
Good riddance.
It's just history. It's just a memory.
Yeah, Jackson kind of was a shithole. I wasn't going to say that, but... we also did a show in... Shit. It's a Gulfport? It was Gulfport, Mississippi. It's like the armpit way down, like middle of nothing.
But these were all like legitimate clubs that you guys were.
Yeah, there was an agency called Mustang out of Texas that was the booking agent for that band specifically, and the guy that ran Mustang kind of looked like Vince Neil, circa like 1998 or so, and yeah. So I don't know.
What speaking of booking agents, have you guys ever experienced or been in a band that has used the booking agent? I'm curious. Jay and I were talking about that a little bit. That's what I was going to ask you too, Jay. So how is the Surmiser record release? Because that's coming up, right? This weekend.
Yeah, the final PR push is out right now. It came out today with Subterranean.net, which is, I guess, a pretty big one.
Cool. But so like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys ever consider getting a booking agent with like the PR thing?
Probably not, because you got to pay a booking agent a chunk and a percentage
of like each show, or is that how it works?
Well, a chunk.
I don't really know how that stuff works. I never.
Usually, it works where you pay them. There's a contract fee where it's like their retainer, and then they take a percentage of each show. It's like somewhere between 10 and 25%, depending on who it is you're working with and how it's structured.
Damn.
But no, I don't think we do that. I mean, we're not equipped that way. Two of my guys have full-time jobs that, they can't take time off from, and we don't have a van or any of that shit, so.
Right. I was just curious if it was like on the horizon, or, if it ever made sense. Like,
I think what we probably need to do next is really go regional, and I've been working on getting emails out to...
like the Northeast or something?
We're going to go down to the city in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot of sort of DIY or borderline DIY kind of spaces down there.
Nice.
That are all backlined. So we go down like in the Subaru wagon with like the three guys and a few pieces of, pieces of gear and do it.
Dash out the set. That's awesome.
But, I'd really like to get up into like Massachusetts, not necessarily Boston, maybe more like Amherst or something in the fall when the kids all come back. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I hadn't really given any thought to booking agents.
Interesting, like, because it sounds like you've been, when you were doing obviously the bands that you were live sound engineering for were. I don't know. Sounds like you've had experience with the booking agent or the booking universe. So that's why I was just curious as to like, I mean, I'm sure the game has changed since then. It's been a good decade, but
I'm not sure that the game ever really changes. At least not at those levels.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering like how that even went down, or it's like, because it seems like if you want to play a bunch of shows.
Well, like, so the last band I ran with, we went to South by Southwest. To do a showcase. I think we did 3 shows there in 2 days.
Whoa.
And their management team why a young band like that has a management team is still outside of my understanding. But so their management team flew in behind us and got their South by wristbands, and they went and rubbed elbows with everybody they could find to rub elbows with, basically. And they hooked up with this guy. I forget what his first name was. The Vince Neil looking guy. And he bought us all like steak dinners and shit, and we went out to like this nice restaurant in Austin, and
whoa,
and at the end of the meal, the contract had been signed, and he was then the booking agent, and he booked some mediocre shows, I guess. Booked a few good ones, but most of them were sort of, eh. He booked like shithole places like it's in Ohio. It's a shitty city. I'm trying to remember. The venue's called the Pool Room, or it was.
Was it like pool tables everywhere, or was there like just like a big swimming pool?
No, it was swimming pools, but it was pool tables rather, not swimming pools. But it was like this roached out fucking. It probably used to be like a mom and pop diner kind of thing.
Oh wow.
And like it had a food service counter and like these fryers that you could smell how old the grease was when you walked in.
Yeah.
And that was where the show was happening. And like the live sound, they basically just like kicked two dudes off of one of the pool tables and put a board on the pool table, and that was your live sound.
Because that's what I feel like. That's got to be as a booking agent, I don't know. It's got to be kind of a hard. Well, I have no idea. It just seems like an interesting. I would love to peel back the curtain and look into that world. And
it's just like PR. It's just like PR.
It's just like people.
You're basically
connections with venues that. Yeah.
You basically are paying somebody to represent you to the contacts that they already have.
Yeah.
To represent you to the contacts that they already have to get you in places.
Right, and depending on the level of the booking agent, you could see what they're. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously, if this guy's booking you in those type of places, may not have been the greatest booking agent.
Oh man, some of those places, I'm telling you, like that one in Ohio.
I just wonder, like, the echelon or that. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but.
Well, the next booking agent that they got after that guy.
Oh, so there's no okay.
It was the second one after him. This is right before I quit. I forget what the hell his name was, but he was like a big to-do guy in like L.A. He used to be A&R for some big label out there, and at that point, all he was doing was, promoting and booking up and comers. And like as soon as that dude came on board, we got a show in New Hampshire. It's a 25,000 seat amphitheater outdoor with lawn seats and shit. It was like, I think it was like the Nokia Pavilion or something like that. It's in bumfuck nowhere, New Hampshire. But that was an opening gig for Candlebox and Live. Were doing a tour together at the time.
Whoa. And
it was an opening slot for that. So it immediately went from like shitty clubs like in Ohio to like amphitheater, big deal shit. And,
with like nationally known acts.
That was fucking serious. Like that was real ass catering, and he also got us onto a festival in like up near Schenectady. There was a hard rock radio station. I forget what it was, what the call numbers were even. But somehow that guy contacted them and got us on that festival too. That was the one with Static X and
Power Man.
I think fucking it wasn't. It might have been Linkin Park. It's a guy in like a big fucking gorilla suit.
Not gorillas.
No, it wasn't gorillas. It was a dude in a gorilla, like an ape kind of suit, little white guy with spiky hair, kind of like a rapper dude.
Limp Bizkit?
It wasn't Limp Bizkit, but you know what I'm saying. It was actually it. I don't know. I always kind of feel like it was Linkin Park, but I'm not too sure that it was. I feel like they were bigger than that by then. But anyway, he got us on that fucking thing too. That was huge. the sick puppies were on that and shit.
Yeah, I mean that's what I just wonder. Like, kind of, I've been thinking a lot about, especially I guess mainly because you guys have the PR right now for Surmiser.
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot about that, and I remember I met a guy a long time ago, and he was like really same deal. He like really wanted to be in like a great, I mean, similar deal in that he had PR and stuff, and it was like he was trying to, he was kind of like Paul Simon-esque, like Grizzly Bear-esque kind of guy. It kind of sounds like mixed between that stuff, and he had like a PR person, and he was telling me the whole thing. He's like, oh, you need to get like a lawyer for like making sure all the songs and everything are covered or whatever, and you got to get a PR person, booking person, and then I think there was one. It was like 4 people he was trying to court essentially. He was going around looking at all these emails of these places, and like it never connected with me that was the way that so many of all those music relationships worked. And maybe I'm just naive, maybe I'm just a dumbass, like I don't know. But just the fact that it's kind of like I feel like when you want to get to a certain level with your music, that's when you really need to say, well, I don't even know, man. I'm just talking out of my ass here.
Look like this. So you need.
Just seems like if you want to take a step into like a whole different realm, you need like this team of people.
If you're actually going somewhere and it looks like you have upward mobility at your disposal, then you need at least a manager, somebody looking out for your shit. You need a lawyer on retainer to review any contracts that come in through the first guy. This guy should really be in touch with this guy who is PR, and he should also be in touch with this guy who's the booking agent. Right. So those are your four. Those are your 4 keys. And then inboard of that, you have your tour manager, who is probably also your sound guy. If you're lucky, you also have your bus driver, maybe. And then below that is the band.
Right.
So the band is, as shit flows downhill, the band actually is low man.
Right.
You wouldn't think so, but that manager's making more money than the rest of everybody.
Like I just never realized you needed this entire team of people.
Well, you don't necessarily have to have it. I mean, there's plenty of independents that make it a long way without, having the lawyer at least makes sense, because then you don't get pigeonholed by a shitty contract. But
right, and you got somebody looking out for licensing and stuff. I guess I'm just naive though. I never knew that that was the way the game was played. Because I always just thought it was like, oh yeah,
Well, the whole goddamn game is played by paying people for the things they know.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
The people they know and whatever.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, is somebody who like genuinely attempts to pursue art, or like just create stuff because I enjoy creating it, and I don't know. So what I never realized was the way that the game is played is just like ducats, just raining ducats.
But our PR.
Right, and this is a good example.
Like it's a barter deal. Like I'm gonna do work for him, he's doing work for us. It's so
He's got you guys on some outlets and doing some stuff that I mean, I guess all this stuff is within your reach, but he's able to do something within a month that it would probably take you like half a year, probably a year to like get the handle on. So, but I guess I don't know. I guess this is the point I was wanted to make. I was like thinking about doing a couple of videos on stuff like that, and I guess just as like a informational thing, because I feel like nobody ever tells you this kind of stuff.
Well, there are certain outlets that you can't get to by yourself. Bigger blogs, bigger reviewers, the real key places where like you're gonna get some traction by being exposed there. Like those are not within your DIY reach usually. And not for your lack of trying, but because you either really got to impress those people, you really have to disappoint them, or you have to have somebody who puts you across their desk to start with.
Yeah.
Because they're not likely to be out surfing, what band can I put, on my blog today? They have this outlet, and if a band slides through that's really shitty, you might get a negative write-up. If a band slides through that's fucking stellar, you might get an organic write-up that way. But all the shit in the middle ground is somebody's just shoveling that through. And they're going, it's either right swipe, left swipe. Like,
yeah. Well, that's
match it or don't,
Yeah. It's something that I'm Brian from Yellow Rainbow that I've interviewed. There's an interview going to be coming out in a couple of weeks that I did with him on the channel, and it's so funny because mirrors something else we were talking about with Spotify and getting your music on there, and
Mm-hmm.
basically he got his music on like a playlist, and it's been
Yeah,
finding
but
some
if you
more
want to get
people.
on all that shit, just pay $20 a year or $20 a month or whatever it is for DistroKid, and you'll be everywhere.
Well, no, his thing was like he was trying to get it on a playlist, and so what
Hmm.
happened was, but I thought it was just him emailing somebody, but actually there's like an entire service with these
Yeah.
playlists because that's the way stuff is discovered today. There's some kind of credit system he was involved with. It's like you pay $20 and get 10 credits, and
It's
then
probably DistroKid.
this is like, but not just getting it onto these places. It's a way of getting the music onto playlists, like you would get your music onto a blog in the past, or pay somebody to do a write up on you. This is like paying. You're paying these bigger outlets to. You pay these credits, whatever they're called, whatever they are, and then that goes to an outlet. They look at it. They have to respond to your email or give you some feedback on your music within a certain amount of time.
Yep.
And I guess what I'm saying is like even that whole game is now monetized. It's like because like playlists are how it's all done. I was under the impression, I guess naive me again, that there's an algorithm listening to music or grouping music similarly with other music that sounds like it. So your music, if it sounds like Band X, will be played alongside Band X. But it's like that's just not how it works either. It's all determined by this monetary system. Well, at least what it seems like, that
Yeah.
you're basically paying for people to look at your music and give you feedback on it and either put it in their
Yeah.
playlist or not. I don't know. I guess I always thought there was more organic stuff behind these kind of music biz stuff, but there's really not. It's just all about making it rain.
It's all about having somebody pop it for you.
I don't know.
All of it is about that.
Anyway, this stuff's all been stuff that's like I've been thinking about a little bit. Does payola still happen with the current way of doing things? Does that is that I think that's like is that do you think that still goes down, Jay?
I'm gonna look up the.
Dude, who thumbed down the stream?
Yo,
Yeah.
is Easy still in here?
Easy.
I saw him like pop in, and then I haven't seen anything out
They
of
shall
him.
suffer the wrath of the task and they'll beg for mercy. Yeah,
I
what the
mean, I
good?
think I think by definition, um,
Yeah,
payola is
Jim,
a
I think
North
that's messed up.
American noun. The practice of bribing someone to use their influence or position to promote a particular product or interest. I think basically payola is the only way that those things happen. Really.
Maybe we're just
Um,
spouting too much truth tonight. They just have to thumb it down.
I think it's all happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of whack too. Paying somebody to um, take a look at your shit. I mean,
Oh, Easy. No, I wasn't meaning that you thumbed it down. I just wondered where you went because I saw you pop in and then you're gone.
I just think it's super interesting as somebody who, for a long time, was trying to do something with my band, and yeah, it was like again, I think because we were talking about 10 years ago when I was more active and trying to do stuff. It was like I just never understood that this was the way the game was played. I guess I'm just a naive motherfucker. I
Well,
don't know. I
you
guess
know,
that's what it comes down to. You
people
know,
talk about like being players all the time. Like, yo, I'm a player, right? Like,
hustling.
no, well, like whatever, getting stuff or
Sure.
getting
Okay.
other people, however, whatever. I'm a player.
Like a player in the
Um,
scene of music stuff.
well, the problem with anybody who's trying to be a player, right? You're trying to look like you're hot shit. You're trying to get out there. You're trying to acquire something um, via the game. The problem with that is the game itself. The more you play the game, the further absorbed into the game you become, and you lose sight of the fact that the game is not the object. If you want success and you want to do things organically or whatever, then you don't play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Or you have to play the game all the way. There's sort
Right.
of no middle ground.
Yeah, it's kind of like you get sucked into the game if
You
you're
need
gonna be
cheat
able
codes for the
to.
game. Need
What?
a game genie for that shit. It's
Down, down, left, right, up, down, down.
one AZ 37Y. That would be your game genie code for that. That's infinite lives in the music game.
Yeah, I think it's just such a strange thing, you know. I think is there's certain musicians that are just doing their thing for the love of music and you know and love of creating and but then like you sometimes see these bands that come across your desk and you're like, how the fuck is this like
There's a lot of them.
anything? And it's because they're just paying people.
I have to just
Not
say
to sound
one
like
thing.
a butthurt like
Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start.
That's for any Konami game.
That's Mad Lives in
Lives.
Contra.
Contra.
Just so you know.
Like Bad Dudes, like a lot of those.
Used to play the fuck out of some Contra too.
Dude, that's like my favorite game.
I love that game.
Yeah, so Easy said I think Mike and Jay should get into some ASMR type videos. Do you know anything about these type audio sensory something or other? It's like basically like one of them could just be like really high def or like high def audio of like us petting a cat or like I don't know like spilling marbles into different containers. Like it's like something that I don't know.
Oh man.
Easy's not the first person who suggested this, which is funny. I think we did say it on last stream. That's right.
Twin, the reason those pretentious hipster bands get out in front of the masses like that is because of the whole payola system.
Yeah, that's
as we're calling it now.
This is kind of like the whole video that I was going to do on this. Like,
if you can afford to boost posts every time you post something, if you can afford to pay somebody to boost those posts even further, or to push your newest single, no matter how great or lame it is, if you can get somebody to push that in front of every single outlet there is and get even half of them to bite and to push it, then you're golden.
Yeah, just
listen to all this bullshit on the radio. You know how I got on the radio? Somebody spent fucking money. That's how it got there.
Yeah.
It's not because like these DJs are like kind-hearted people who are really like have musicians' interests in mind.
No,
like
nobody has anyone's.
They don't give a flying fuck. Somebody said, "Play this thing," because this guy paid us to play this thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And I just think like, it's just so funny now that when I don't know, I had this realization a few years ago, and it's just like, I don't know, not put a bad taste in my mouth, but I just think the hope of ever doing anything. It's like J.D. Salinger, right? He wrote Catcher in the Rye, and like that book was like an enormous success. And I think one of his quotes that I like a lot is like, how can you make genuine art in an utterly like bankrupt world? And it's like it's just not possible. And that was like the big thing that sent him into hiding. And he's just writing this book about I guess him or when he was younger, and it turned out to be way more than he ever wanted it to be.
So Jeb asked if is any of the money actually making it to the artist. I thought that musicians now just make money from playing live. Weird. So this is what usually happens. If you're lucky enough to get signed to an indie, you get an advance. That advance is to make your record and to oftentimes to pay your people for whatever that period of time is. A lot of times it ends up paying for the physical merch, but you're now a slave to the company.
Yeah.
So what you see beyond that will be royalties once you're into the black on the loan that the company just gave you. And you will also see publishing. So if it's getting radio spins that are being tracked, or if it gets used in a movie, you'll see dollars and cents from that.
Did you mention 360 deals?
No.
Okay.
You want to tell them what that is?
I mean, I didn't want to cut off your train of thought.
No, that's fine.
Basically, like there's certain deals with labels, or if
what
they're
up, Oda?
fucking you any kind of money, or you get any kind of deal where they're taking a little piece of every single amount of money that you can make. So every T-shirt you sell, that company, that label is getting $2. Every fucking spin on Spotify, instead of getting 0.04 of a cent, you're now getting 0.02 of a cent. Like, every live show you play, they get a little cut of that.
Yep.
360 meaning every fucking thing, every return, they're getting a little fucking payola from that. Not payola, they're getting a little piece of the pie.
But every single person, with the exception of the PR guy, the PR guy usually is a flat, agreed upon campaign price. You say, all right, I want PR for 3 months. This is how much it costs. If you're using an external agent. A lot of times PR is done in-house with indie labels, so they have like either an agent they always work with, or they have somebody on their payroll
and that makes
does
sense
it.
Because like if you're on a certain
right.
record label,
so it's
has,
covered.
Bands that sound like X, then venues that like bands that sound like X or that want to book those bands like will most likely all be booking the same type of style music.
All right. So, where the hell was I going? Okay, so once you get past PR though, your booking agent is taking a chunk and then a percentage off of every single thing. Your manager's getting a percentage. Your producer and possibly your engineer are getting points, so they're getting a percentage of your royalty. Um, yeah, the A&R guy, whoever signed you, he's getting a piece of that shit, and the label's getting an even bigger chunk than that. So what's left for you is, slivers of a percent or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, making your money off of live shows, especially if you're in a bracket where if you're pushing $1,000 or $1,500 a night guarantees, then you're absolutely living off of that, and that becomes your tour support also, which is not easy. But yeah, the advance sort of is like a loan, and they don't necessarily tell you what you have to, like how much to allot for what, but they give you a chunk of money with which to make your record and with which to make other things happen, and you have to do it with that funding. Fun story about that is a band like Mudhoney. Mudhoney used to get like $80,000-$90,000 advances to make a record from Sub Pop, but they had five guys.
It's a great story.
Or four guys that needed to live also. So they would take that advance. They would book the cheapest studio they possibly could. They would cut the whole record live so that they could make the whole record for between $500 and $1,000. And then they would divvy that money up and exist off of that. And then Sub Pop would do the 360 back end thing to them, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I've heard stories about that too. Like John Jeb saying the advances alone. Yeah, it's like if you're, I don't know, from the stories I've heard, and it's all obviously hearsay, but I'm not going to name names, but record labels pay to have your record put out, recorded, and yeah, you got to pay that money back. So you basically become their agent or their indentured servitude that has to go out and play. You're going to be on an endless tour until you recoup the $100,000, the $50,000 that they spent to push your stuff out, to book your tour, to do this, to do that. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, as much as I kind of have a romanticized idea about that lifestyle, and I've mentioned that on the channel, like I don't know if that's really even that great of a deal. It's like it's kind of more fun, to maybe dream about it and to do things on your own terms.
Yeah, but easy.
I'm not trying to, I don't know.
Easy. The platforms like YouTube and social media for getting your music out.
What up, Oda?
While they are heads and tails above what organic exposure used to be like 20 years ago, they're also so saturated that it's it's almost impossible to stand out anymore. It's like you're basically a drop of water being added to the fucking ocean when you sign up for that stuff. Getting people to notice it outside of your small circle is always the trick and challenge. And
Bobby, what's up?
I feel like you kind of don't have to, you don't have a choice but to become a player in some part of the game, whether it be just a PR campaign or whatever, but you need help to get above a certain level. You can make it pretty far by your own, especially if you're charismatic and you're good at, making connections. You can go a long damn way, but eventually you hit the wall.
Someone's going to come knocking, or if you want to go higher, you're going to have to go.
You're going to have to find somebody to help you go higher. Yeah.
I agree, though. I think that's a good point, though, Easy. And I think this channel is a great example of that. Like, I didn't start this with any intention of, we've talked about this before, like promoting my own music, but as a collateral damage-esque type thing, people are interested in the music I'm making because of the tutorials I've made in the past. So it's like, one hand washes the other,
Yeah.
So like in a way, I've said this before, me having a channel is the biggest boon to anything creative I've ever done, probably my whole adult life, because I'm getting my stuff out there, and there's been more interest in what I've been doing in this past year doing the channel than there has my whole adult life creating stuff and putting stuff out. So and hitting the pavement and fucking playing shows and doing all that shit. So like, I definitely agree with that 100%. Like, And that's the other way. I was explaining this to somebody in the comments. This guy Warren, who's been with the channel for since we had like 60 subscribers or something. He's like, man, this is really awesome. You've seen this grow, and this is, you know, you got something going with this, and you know, I'm like super thankful to see that. And but again, I guess my point was like, I can spend a couple hours making a video and potentially, you know, over time reach 1,000 people if there's, you know, each one of those views could potentially be a different person watching it. Yeah. So it's like every time I'm putting up another video, it's sort of, and this is what I've been saying to a lot of people lately, is like, if you want to get yourself out there, definitely start a channel, definitely get your music out there. What's that?
There's a question in the chat. What pedals on
oh yeah, we can talk about that. But yeah, so I guess all I'm trying to say is, I think it's a great way to reach people, and you know, I kind of look at how I'm doing things on the channel now. Every time I put up a video, it's another opportunity to play a show to somebody, because you know, I'm getting like hundreds and thousands of views a day on the channel at this point, and I'm looking at each one of those as playing 1,000 shows a day, because I'm getting my message, I'm getting my art, I'm getting all this stuff out to people.
So Twin, with DistroKid, I'm not sure that the service long term is necessarily worth it, but what that does do is basically take your submission at one point and it puts it on all of the streaming platforms, and makes it available to, you know, all of that sort of on the go music service shit that's out there now, without you having to submit it independently to each service. So I feel like in that way it's worthwhile if you're looking to get that kind of exposure. And I know a bunch of bands that use it, and
so
you know, there's various levels of success, basically.
It puts you onto the streaming services?
You submit to DistroKid. DistroKid gets you on iTunes and Spotify.
Sure,
and,
so it's like CD Baby.
Sort of, without all the CD Baby bullshit.
It's like cheaper too, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's very much geared towards sort of like the DIY bands and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what is this the one where it's like, okay, pay only $19.99, upload unlimited for your year.
Yeah.
Our competitors charge the least to upload. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, it's a great way to get your stuff up if you're super prolific, like somebody like J-Rad that comes through the channel. Like,
even if you're not
they're
super
doing albums
prolific,
like every couple months.
But it's you know, they track your spins, which means they can theoretically be tracking the revenue that your songs are generating.
Well, yeah, it's CD Baby.
It's pennies and change and shit, but
sure, it's couch money. But yeah, I mean, like, well, it's the same thing. I guess it's a cheaper version of CD Baby. It looks like. I mean, CD Baby that's what I've used for in the past. I don't know, and that's and it's always up indefinitely. So like, apparently until even after I'm dead, my stuff will be up on streaming services. I don't know.
Absolutely not says know your audience, and knowing your audience is super important, and that's why when you do it organic, you start.
That's right.
With your core of people, and you try to build out from there.
Definitely.
And making sure that the things that you post and the things that you do put out there are exposed to the right people, can easily be done actually with, you know, targeted boosts and targeted marketing. You know, and that's easy. Once you get past a couple hundred likes on like a band page, let's say, you can sort of look at what that demographic is. You know, if it's males 18 to 27 and then females, you know, 25 to 38, most of whom are from North America, then that's your target demographic. That's who you need to be shooting those things out at. And things like Facebook allow you to set your target market that way. So.
Well, this is all funny because it goes along with the conversation, the interview that's going to come out, I think on a couple Mondays from now with me and Brian, that I went down and interviewed him about Spotify and stuff that he's been doing. And it's the same, that's the point we make too with Spotify, which is amazing, is you can get the Spotify artists account, for instance, and see exactly what cities people are playing your shit. So maybe you have a huge fan base in Helsinki, and you have a huge fan base in LA, and you have a huge fan base in Antarctica. Now you can go and play those continents and places based on, you know, those might be great places for you to try to play a show and promote a show, you know, rather than fucking place someplace in the middle of nowhere just because it's between 2 points on a tour that you booked.
Well, the other thing you can do too is if there is a demographic that you think you would fit with, or regional exposure. So let's say you really think that like there's bands in, let's say, Japan that you would go along well with, you know, who do well in their local, you know.
Thanks, buddy.
In their local area, right?
Yeah.
So if let's say band XYZ from I don't know, Hirohito, Japan is fucking blowing up. They got 10 million followers and this shit's crazy. So if you can figure out what their demographic is, if you're kind of similar to them, and target that,
sure, yeah,
and target their location,
yeah,
then you can draw from somebody else's too. But you have to really be careful about how you target and how you try to move around that way.
well, yeah, because then it's also just it's like Facebook ads too. Have you ever like even looked into doing them?
We do them. Yeah,
Oh, really?
We do boosts and ads.
Oh
Right?
yeah. So
Sure.
and that's okay. So you probably know more about this than me,
Yeah.
but like you can target people that are like into the adventures of Pete and Pete and like random ass shit, right? Like they're into the color orange. It's like people who like this show, this thing, and this type of music are people that I know like my band. So I'm gonna shoot these ads out to those people.
Absolutely not. So we made more money in Europe than here because USA people don't see us as novel. I'll tell you, there's a band from here called Malamar. Malamar was like a sort of like a death metal band. They did very poorly in this area, but they went to Japan, and the Japanese fucking ate them up. Their biggest sales, hottest shows, all that shit was all in Japan. So they stopped doing U.S. tours.
Yeah.
They would just go to Europe, and then they would bump over to Japan, and that was their runs. That's what they did. And even going to so the first band I toured with was called thru. thru is like a prog metal band, kind of. In the U.S., the shows were not bad, but the attendance at the shows in Canada were fucking explosive. Like it might as well have been like I don't know. Like you see these like European soccer tournaments where there's like 1,000 motherfuckers packed into like a little room,
Yeah.
That's what the shows in Canada were like because people eat the shit up. Like they want to go out and see it. They want to go out and hear it. They want to go out and do it. In the U.S., they want to. In the U.S., they all want to sit on the couch and watch you do it later.
But also, these thru is prog metal.
Yeah.
Well, like, so one of the biggest bands, prog bands that have ever existed is out of Canada. Geddy Lee.
Oh, Rush, yeah.
So I mean, like that makes sense that the fans of that style of music would be in Canada.
But
right?
these were I don't know, but I'm telling you, like the shows there were fucking bonkers compared to the stuff going on in the States. Like,
I know, it's like I said, there's definitely a weird like club culture. I don't mean like club culture like headbanging, like DJ chef. I just mean like club culture is in. There's just a weird culture of people in the States. I find
the Canadians are also much more engaging than the Americans. So in America, and especially in New York, you go to shows and everybody's like,
yeah.
In Canada, they're going ape shit. They're bouncing off the fucking front of the stage. They're bouncing off of each other.
Why do you think that?
Fucking,
I think the proliferation of cool
because they know how to
something else.
They know how to cut
about.
the fuck loose there. That's why it's the way it is.
I think there's like this. I don't know. I'm not even sure what I'm saying, but like, there's some aspect of American culture I think that inhibits people from really letting loose. I'm not really sure what in those type of situations. What did absolutely not say?
Wait, what happened?
Whoa, Bobby said I made way more there too.
Wait, what happened to absolutely not?
I don't know. All this is true.
Yeah, what am I not seeing here?
I don't know. Matt, what happened? What did he say? Last show I mixed before I left the UK was like a soccer match here in the States. The audience was like a wet blanket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's like, you go abroad.
Yeah, what happened, Matt? It seemed like he wasn't. They weren't doing anything.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe he was the wrong person because there was somebody else starting some shit up at the top.
I don't know.
Maybe he meant to do hydro licking. That seems like somebody was getting out of control.
It was a troll. You sure?
Well, no, up at the top. Yeah, I don't know, man. He seemed like he was into what we were doing.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to trust you that it was a troll. I'm not sure what happened there.
I see. Yeah, hydro licking. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, I saw that one. I just kind of ignored it.
Yeah, I thought maybe that was why. Away. Maybe you mix them up. Anyway, absolutely not. If you're still chilling, keep hanging out. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, but so yeah. Anyway, easy. Yeah, the shows abroad, the audiences still fucking get into it, like like it's a 1970s punk show in New York City. But when you go to punk rock shows in New York City, it's a bunch of stale, stiff fucking bullshit and sideways glances and stuff. Everybody's super
I feel like
uptight.
there's just a lot of pretentious people putting on airs.
Yeah.
Man. People that aren't like
And
genuine into it, man. I don't know.
and Oda,
Because anybody who is genuinely into something, I feel like he's not going to act that way.
it doesn't have to be about money. It really depends on what it is that you want to do with your art and how far you want to try to take it and
Sure,
what you expect from it. I mean, you could be a happy musician your entire life and never make a dime. Or you could push the envelope, pay every single outlet there is to pay, and, become the next Lady Gaga.
Well, Lady Gaga, that's the whole story with her is that same deal, man. She paid like an exorbitant amount of change to get her stuff spinning.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's now look, she's singing with Tony Bennett, and well, that was a while ago, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
she wanted to get to a certain echelon or something. But I agree too. Just play to play, make art to make art. That is the purpose. The process is the purpose.
But I think there comes a point in time where you reach sort of like the precipice of the thing, right? Where you can't really afford to put in any more effort, time, or money without seeing some kind of return, and that's sort of, I feel like, where mid-level bands get to, is that like you're pouring in all the heart you got and you're putting out the best songs you can, and you're spending all kinds of time doing the DIY promotion and stuff, but you're not getting to that next rung, and to like be able to tip it over and get to the other side. You either have to pay somebody or you have to accept the fact that you have plateaued and this is as far as it's going to go. I feel like that's the way that the game works.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the place that I got to personally, was just like, and I explained this to a bunch of people and I've said this, but insanity. Obviously, that quote "insanity" is the definition of banging your head against the wall, expecting a different outcome. Like you can kind of see. I don't know. I mean, play to play and have fun playing. It's just I don't know. Eventually, you just kind of feel like you're just running the same. For me, it just became like I feel like I just aged out of certain stuff, and I just got tired of it, and I don't know. I guess I'm just a jaded asshole, but I just kind of like, it's like exactly what you're saying. It's like to reach a certain level that I wanted to reach, I feel like I would have to just like fucking shell out like $3K a month, because I've seen bands that shell out $3K a month, and
and you can certainly
do the thing that's so cool and do everything, and it's like,
but I think
I'm not gonna fucking do that.
But when you get to the point of dumping out $3K a month,
I mean, if it was, yeah, we're sorry.
You sort of have to look at whether the return is going to be worth the investment in the first place, and you also really have to question if the intent is, from an artistic standpoint, to get you further and get you more exposure, or is it
we're not really sure. Maybe you guys can ask.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think that was an accident. Absolutely not. I think because there's
I don't know. So I lost my train of thought there. So basically,
to another level,
like,
if it pays to get your music to another spot.
Are you chasing that next level for some artistic reason, or is it greed kicking in and you're just looking to make a buck? And you have to be willing to make compromises for whichever of those two things happens to be your final answer, I feel like. But
well, I think that's always what I don't know why I saw that you were just agreeing and adding to the conversation, so we're not sure.
I'm not sure what happened
Matt
there.
got trigger happy, or he was meaning to.
I don't know.
There was somebody else asking about Alcatraz. I don't know if that was.
I'm not sure.
Whatever. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think Matt just. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So, I don't know. I lost my train of thought too. I never play live. I always put my music online. It does well when it comes views.
Fuck.
That's interesting, Oda. I always put music on land as well when it comes to use. Yeah, there's so many different ways to play the game now too, and I mean I feel like I don't know. I just never was able to. I never played the game very well. I think I don't know, man. It's like you kind of see through shit too. It's like,
Well, I mean, any game like that, any kind of game where you're trying to like, I don't know, man, like trying to get some kind of comeuppance by taking advantage of other people or whatever it is. Like you have to question the validity of the game as as the object to begin with.
right.
Like
Right.
exactly.
Exactly.
You're playing something that is inherently bullshit. Everyone knows it's bullshit. The people who made the game know it's bullshit. It's like Monopoly, like like
Well, it's the
you
intersection.
unfold the board and you look at it and you go, "Well, this is fucking bullshit." But you sit down with 6 of your friends and fucking play it anyway, don't you?
It's the intersection
Right?
of
Like,
art and commerce.
yeah, and
That's always a fucked up
you know,
place. I mean that's like the whole music business. Like I feel like what we've been talking about this whole stream is just I don't know.
yeah, I mean,
It's like we're saying the game. What is the Hunter S. Thompson quote about the music industry? It's like
I don't know.
maybe one of you guys knows that quote. It's
Hate the player, not the game.
something about the trench is
But
the
it's
music industry is a trench filled with like cheats and liars. I don't know.
yeah.
Matt got a little trigger happy. Okay,
Yeah.
everything's smooth over. Matt, if you do want to mod somebody, there's that somebody up at the top talking about Alcatraz. I think they're long gone, but whatever.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know. I think if you really want to get someplace specific, then somewhere along the lines you're going to have to cross that line into
Well, that was kinda
actually
idea with
playing the
your PR,
bullshit
with
game.
the bartering with the PR.
That
you kinda
was
wanted to see what would
a
happen.
beautiful experiment
Yeah.
where we crossed the line without actually having to spend any physical money. Now I owe that
See-
guy mastering time and some recording time, whatever it is he wants to do for that. So, I'm still paying him, but it's services for services.
Right.
And it's a great way to sort of get our feet wet and test the waters and see what comes of it. And the interesting thing about that PR is we've gotten some all right pops on a couple of blogs that seem fairly sizable. I don't follow blogs, so I don't really
Yeah,
know.
me either.
I just learn what I know about
Stopped
them
doing
by
that like 6-7 years ago.
I just comb through the ones he puts it
Sure,
on and
yeah,
I
me
look
too.
through,
I watch
to
all
see
that.
how their
It's cool,
content
man.
is, but where the fuck was I going with that? Jesus.
We
need
got
more coffee today or
this
something.
free.
Oh, right. So, what I was really looking for though was to see the reactions on those blogs.
Yeah.
And
So like, what did you find? Any interesting data points from that?
so this is what happens every time.
Because I would love to try to do something like that for shits too, but
Every time a
not gonna
drop
pay
goes
couple
out,
K.
every time a drop goes out, we see a spike in activity at the Facebook page. We see a small spike in activity at the Bandcamp page for whatever it is that's streaming in that drop. Most of them we've seen small spikes in page likes and post likes. But what we're not seeing, and it was really the thing that I kind of wanted but also didn't want to see, I wanted it to sort of, or I wanted to but also didn't want to, see like outsider comments, like who's reading this blog, what did they think of the thing that's being pushed in this post.
Interesting.
And to my dismay and sort of delight and disappointment at the same time, there are no comments. All these pushes that have gone out, like, I don't know how many clicks they've gotten. I don't have the page stats, but, I expected at least like a couple, like, these guys fucking suck or something like that. And, we didn't even get
But
that.
these guys fucking rock.
We didn't even well, I'm always looking at the shit side of it.
Sure.
But, so, I expected a couple of, like, fuck these guys kind of things, and we didn't even get that. So, So while we're seeing moves in social media and, online music, the Bandcamp stream stuff, whatever, the thing that I really hoped for was like sort of the human element bleeding through in the commentary on, these blogs and stuff, and it's really not any of that, which is to me disappointing.
So what's your biggest takeaway then? Like, what do you think what do you think's being accomplished by by having this PR push?
What it does is it gets your material out
into more eyeballs.
Yeah, in front of more people, and whether that does anything for you or not, I don't know that it matters whether it does anything for you or not.
Right.
The fact is that like
what do you think
So here's the main pool, right? Here's everybody that makes music in the whole world, right? And then there's like this crust layer outside. The first crust layer is like the people who are paying for like low level PR. And then the crust layer beyond that is like medium level PR where you're spending like $1,500 a month or whatever.
Wait, so you want to be in the outer crust?
No, I'm cool with being in that first crust, but like once you get out of that main.
But I'm saying like the pool is like where everybody is, and then the crust.
I feel like once you get out of the molten core and into that first crust layer, then you're working on sort of streamlining your way through people's, visage or whatever across their desks and into their platforms. Whereas like if you're just in the pool by yourself and nobody puts you in that crust layer, then you're still just in the pool. Sure. You're that drop in the ocean. And if somebody finds you, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if you get pushed out to that crust and you keep working out there, I think that's how it's.
Sure, that makes sense. I just think it's interesting because it reminds me of the Facebook pay to promote posts where it's like, now they have the algorithm instead of, because like I had a great story with this. Like I had an organic post that did exceptionally well like the day or two before they changed the way that they push your posts out, basically making you pay to post if you have any type of business, band, any type of page that you want people to see your shit. Like it used to be there was a certain organic element to it, and now it's just completely pay to play. So like I just wonder how many of those clicks are, because it's so easy for somebody just to hit thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah. Like, how many of that shit is like a genuine reaction to that? I don't know, man. I don't really know like what anyone's goals with this stuff. I guess I'm like a fucking dinosaur when it comes to this shit. But
absolutely,
social media,
absolutely not. Says I believe like attracts like, and sometimes for a while you make stuff and all you gain out of it is allies, but those connections help. Yeah. That actually is like the key tip, I think, to any musician trying to accomplish any fucking thing is to network. Because with a strong enough network, I think you don't need nearly as much paid help. And that's a lot of the reason that we lean on a lot of DIY space stuff and, we'll continue to regardless of PR push or whatever.
I think that's kind of what Oda's point too is. So I've come people up to me and say, "Hi, you want to get signed to my label?" I'm always no. I'd rather keep my name in music.
See, I'm the opposite of that though. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to sign to my label?" I would go find a lawyer to retain and have that contract thoroughly reviewed to make sure I wasn't getting, fucked raw 3 ways from Sunday.
I guess you guys just have different.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what it is that you want out of it, though. Like, if you could have a contract.
Well, so then I guess we should ask the question then, burning in all the viewers' minds.
Let's put it this way: if you
what is your goal in with your band?
Fuck if I know. But if somebody came to me with
sounds like you kind of
with a deal that was, amenable to my and our interests. That came with good distribution and didn't have a whole lot of back-end bullshit. We got to keep at least some of the publishing. Then I think I would go for that.
Right.
Because you can get a lot done on one of those advances. But what you don't want is the Sub Pop kind of deal where you're the fucking, the eternal slave for the next 15 years paying back $100,000 on a
because
you pay back $100,000
album didn't do so hot.
Pay back $100,000 on a record that you're lucky if it makes $5,000 a year. Like you're gonna be stuck in litigation on the back end of that for a long time, and nobody wants to be in that kind of cycle of abuse,
Yeah, absolutely not. The channel I dig because it's genuine. Thanks, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, my friend. I just got a new guitar amp. It's Ampeg G15. I think I got at a yard sale for $50. Nice.
Fucking A. But
Matt's coming out of the apologies. He's getting a little overzealous. Yeah,
it happens. It happens.
I changed some stuff up on the forum. If any of you guys are not members of the forum, you can join up at 424recording.com/forum. Basically, I think I was talking with David about some of this stuff, and I don't know. The forum seemed like it was very active.
I'm gonna leave you to this for a minute.
Yeah, dude.
Step out.
I'm gonna step out in a second too.
Okay, word.
Basically, the forum was pretty active, and then I don't know. Maybe it's just like comes in waves. It's nicer outside. People are hanging out. I realized the forum isn't like insanely high end. I was wanting to shift some stuff over to Discourse, which is like a nicer platform, but with a nicer platform comes, it's a lot more expensive, honestly. The forum that's currently there is an older one, but it kind of came with my web services or whatever. So, but basically, so now I have it turned on so that when you post to the forum, if somebody replies to your topic, you'll get an email that says somebody replied to your post. So I think that was part of the issue with the forum, and because I think you have to be logged in or something to see if people replied, but there's just a setting that I changed so that now, even like stuff I've been responding to, I get emails now that say like, hey, so-and-so responded to your response. Here's the link to it. And I think Google flags these as being like spoofed emails, meaning like they say they come from your stuff, but they might not actually come from your email or something, or it makes it seem like it's coming from I don't know. But anyway, if you do see emails like that coming from the forum, it should be cool. It's just the email letting you know that somebody replied to your post. So maybe that was part of the issue. But yeah, I would totally be down with more stuff on the forum. I think it's a great resource for information. We have a lot of cool topics on there. So if anyone has questions about forward tracking, reel-to-reeling, there's some really great threads and a lot of people in the chat. You know who you are. It's like everybody helps out a lot on there. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can make something more with that. But yeah, the live chat. Maybe this is a better way to go. We seem to have a good
rapport going.
Good rapport, and a lot of people. It's awesome. It's awesome to see people asking questions and talking to each other, and be a community building around it, which is really cool.
Well, a lot of this goes back to what Absolutely Not said before about making connections and
yeah, exactly.
Building a network.
Exactly.
So whether you've been following us for a while or I'm not sure, but I've played music for most of my life, and I spend most of my life teching gear and making records and things like that. And I look at that, not only is it a source of income for me, obviously it's work, but it's also team building skills and community building. For every repair I do, I bet I probably give people the information to do their own repairs, probably one out of every 3 calls that come in. And I feel like helping people be self-sufficient, helping to support them in their craft and in what it is that they want to do, will ultimately take you further than just collecting people's money and sort of like bludgeoning your way through music by paying people off and buying shit and whatever. So yeah. Oh, hey, Giant Tree. But I think I couldn't agree more about community building, however you can possibly do that to bolster and support not only yourself but the scenes that you're involved in and things like that. So yeah. What are we talking about here? Drinking beer on a toilet? Let's not do that. Absolutely not. So if you're new to the channel, then welcome, first of all. And there's lots of watching to do. Mike's made a ton of videos, and we've done a lot of these streams too. You should definitely go check out the forum too. 424recording.com/forum. And could we get a first name from you? Most of the regulars here, we sort of try to get to know on a first name basis, and
what I missed.
That way we don't have to constantly repeat. Hey, absolutely not. How's it going?
Christopher. Oh, cool.
Christopher. All right.
Oh, Giant Tree. What's going on? Bobby's making a sandwich. Nice. Welcome. They're not all that.
Oh man.
Yo, guys, I'm pretty excited about this, even though it's like not that exciting. I got knobs. I got dedicated knobs for my task vamp, which is awesome. They're like these brown daisies. I don't know. I just wanted to show that off because like I was stealing them from my I took a couple of them off my amp, and then I had another from I have like one of those super duper pedals, which is a great pedal. I got a good deal on it, and I was just like robbing the knobs off that for all the videos and stuff. So I just wanted to show off my new brown knobs. I'm new to this channel. I've seen a few of the 4-track stuff on here. Oh, cool. I'm one half of the band, The Smiles and Frowns. Awesome. Where can we find your stuff?
I'm about to link you right now.
Oh, sweet. Well, the deals that I got were not good. All the arguments was if you sign your label, you will be bigger. Like J meetings. What's wrong with Sub Pop?
Oh, Christopher, you're out of Phoenix.
Nice. My name's actually Trevor. Oh, cool. I never actually told you all that. Yeah, I always just call you Giant Tree. Any horror stories?
My ex drummer is from Phoenix. My brother's wife actually, and my sister lives in Phoenix now with her boyfriend. That's interesting. Like
Jay's saying, meet people to promote yourself. But what's wrong with Sub Pop? That's what Oda's asking. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with any of the bigger labels. It's just that if you go to a bigger label like that or get signed to a bigger label like that and they pay to put you out there and get you into their
the problem with Sub Pop is they
have to eventually pay that money back. They shell out to promote your band, do the PR. And that's great if your band's doing well, but say your band's not doing the greatest after they record your record, put it out, book a whole European thing, book a whole States thing, it's like at some point they're going to come knocking for the rest of that advanced money. So I guess I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think but I guess that's the biggest point is like, it's just anything else. They're loaning you money to get yourself out there and get your art out there. So eventually you're going to have to pay that money back.
I use Sub Pop as an example because I know of a lot of small artists who've been basically raked over the coals, eaten alive, and then broken from the game because of them and their practices. And I'm not saying they're predatory or whatever. I think it's just the way that their structure is made up. But
well, I mean,
when it comes to contracts, they're taking a chance. But when it comes to contracts, you better make sure you got your lawyers in a row, because you can be damn certain that everything that they hand you has been reviewed by their guy to make sure that it's in their best interest. So, and that's not just Sub Pop. That could be any fucking party.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the example. But that's also the... Yeah.
But I do know of bands that have been, or artists that have been signed to Sub Pop who have gotten royally fucked, and you don't hear anything from them anymore because basically once you've signed to them, if you can't recoup their investment, now you owe them, and they basically own the rights to your everything. So if you intend to make a musical product again, you're starting over.
It's a staircase, not an elevator.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not said. What Christopher said, my friend and I did it on a Tascam 38. That's what you have, right?
Yeah.
Jay just acquired a 38.
Nice.
And David actually just sent the Fox XM80, which we have to get cracking on.
I have seen the movie Anvil, yes. I'm not really sure how it is that those guys got the acclaim that they did, though. Their music.
Oh, I've heard that easy. I gotta watch that.
Metal on metal! Oh, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta check that out, too.
I got trouble watching that, or had trouble watching that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Christopher, is that link the right link? The one I put up? The Peppermint Hill?
So waiting on belts. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Matt, do you have 2 profile pics? I see that. Are you in here in 2 different accounts? That's crazy.
What? What happened?
Well, in the chat, Matt has 2 different pictures.
Does he? No.
Right here. He's got this one and that one. He's double dipping.
What the fuck? I don't see that.
Oh, it's just my computer.
I'm seeing like the same picture on all of it. Yeah, no, I don't see a different picture.
Cool.
Sweet. So we got you linked up. Welcome to the Task Fam.
Welcome to the Task Fam. That's awesome that it's on a 38. Yeah, we've been trying to... Jay and I both actually acquired reel-to-reels in like the same day, I think it was. So
pretty close. Yeah.
We're going to be doing hopefully some more content on those. Going to be more fixing than recording at this point, but maybe you could check out the forum and see if there's anybody who needs help with that machine. Oh, we tried to change the pick one midway through. Okay. Nice. That's awesome. Bobby said, any horror stories, stolen gear, asshole soundman, etc. I don't know if maybe he's asking somebody else that.
Any horror stories?
I've luckily never had a thing yanked from me, even in sketchy areas. Jay has some really good stories about that. The gang of guys that like you parked outside somewhere left.
Oh yeah, that was in Philly. They watched us. We had a trailer that was like decked out with band logos and shit, which it never should have been in the first place. And so like these guys sort of like saw us heading over to I was going to an Advance Auto Parts in like in the bad side of Philly though.
What did you need to get? Just like
I was putting, what was I doing to that thing?
Oil or something?
No, in Philly I was doing so there's a Best Western in Philly over by the Rocky Steps. There's like a monument there. It's a shitty hotel. Food's pretty good in the bar though. So I was putting a giant power inverter and I was wiring outlets throughout the whole van for that 120 volt. But I ran across town to Advance to get something to do with we had an auxiliary battery for the inverter in the back, and it was something to do with finalizing the connections. I don't remember.
Yeah. We were talking about because this is when I was doing the Office one.
Yeah.
And then also with the 50 States, 50 Songs, 1 4-track project, I'm thinking about doing something like this. But anyway.
Yeah. So we were, one of the guys and I were riding over to this thing, and we noticed like this crew of guys that like were sort of just following us everywhere we went. You going real slow through these side streets with a van with a trailer on, and it's all fucked up parking and shit. So they followed us probably like 2 blocks down, and then we pulled into the Advance parking lot, and like I left the one guy like posted at the corner of the van to watch, you know, and there's like dudes peeking out around the corner of the fucking the building at it and shit, and like, you know, coming around the side of the van like trying to look in. It was nuts, man. But they didn't get anything because we left a post there. But
didn't you have something in the truck that you were like? Did you have like a huge horn or something that you blasted?
Yeah, that was I was trying to leave that out because it's fucked up.
Oh. I think that's awesome.
I put a train horn in the tour van. It had a button down next to my right knee. So yeah, you sort of just lean on that as the dudes are coming up. But I also used to lean on that like when we would see people that were fucking up like on the side of the street after shows and stuff, you know, like arguing or whatever. You ride up right close to the curb and then you lay on that thing.
I just think it's funny, man. It's like these guys, I picture them just being, I don't know, just like a crew of like Oompa Loompas, like like peeking around the corner, being super obvious about, I don't know, their intention, and then you're just like,
I think if you weren't paying attention though to their presence,
you don't think you would have noticed them?
I
guess it's because of the way you tell the story. It seems like it was super obvious that they were like.
Well, to me it was, but I mean, to somebody who's a bit more oblivious, they probably would have gotten robbed.
That's how people get ripped off. Yeah.
But
Well, that's what's fucked, man. There's definitely like a crew of people in like
the way my
city that's looking to rip musicians.
But the way my psyche is set up, man. Like when I go any place, I'm constantly scanning. So like I walk into a room, I know where the exits are, I know where the bathrooms are, I know where the exits are, I know where, you know,
where all your
where
shit
the trouble spots are, I know where the blind spots are, and I'm scanning people already because I can read if you're a nefarious motherfucker within the first 3 seconds of you being in my vicinity.
Right.
Your body language says way more than your words ever could.
Right.
So,
being tuned in.
Yeah, when I see somebody who's like looking a little bit like sketchy or side-eyeing some shit, like that's the guy you gotta watch.
Yeah, I think they're HS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. Bobby had his Big Muff stolen. That sucks. I'd be pissed off about that too.
So let me go.
Oh yeah, there's a question about Oda. You see that one?
Yeah, Oda. Big box of tubes, same yard sale. Good way to separate TV tubes from audio tubes. So all tubes will have a number designator on them. It'll be numbers or numbers and letters or whatever. So you need to go through and figure out what's what. Common tubes to look for in those boxes: 6V6, 6K6, 6F6, 6L6. Let's see, 5U4, 5Y3, 5AR4, 5V4 you'll find sometimes. Those are fun. Those are all rectifiers and power tubes before that. 12AX7, 12AT7, 12AU7, 12AY7. You'll find 12AZ7s.
These are like on the bottom of them?
No, they'll be written on the side of the tube. 12BH7 can be cool. That's an audio tube too. There's also like EL84s, 6BQ5, same tube, 6005, 6AQ5, which is a 7-pin mini pentode. Trying to think. Then you'll find like 6SN7, that's a dual triode preamp tube. 6SL7, same deal. Yeah, I mean, I would just pick through and look for anything. You can research the data sheets too. It'll say like beam power pentode or beam power tetrode or high mu triode, dual triode. You know, there's a million part numbers, but yeah, that's how I would separate out the audio tubes. You'll see weird tubes like 1A07. There's all kinds of weird shit. You don't want any of those. There'll be like 13B7s. That's all TV shit. Super heterodyne circuit shit.
Witch Ape Studio, what's going on?
No, Tad.
How's it going, Tad? Thanks for coming through, my friend. We're talking tubes right now. We've been talking a lot about music, not music production, how the game is played.
Jeb, have you ever been robbed at gunpoint? I have. He was really, really, really calm and quiet, no nerves. Jeb, if somebody robbed me at gunpoint, one of the two of us would be dead. There's no fucking two bones about it. You're not taking what's mine. But, yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Tad. Doing well. Been listening for about 10 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, we've been upping the sound game a little bit. Hopefully, it's not as echoey or, I don't know, the sound's not all over the place.
Yo, Matt's calling me Bubba, naming off all those tubes like that. It's fucked up, man.
That's funny. Oh, I didn't realize that's funny. Oh my god. So what's going on at Witch Ape these days, Tad? You've been chilling with your kitties, huh?
Gumbo, fried shrimp. Oh god, here we go. Yeah.
Playing a lot of guitar. Nice.
Awesome, man. How's your cat doing? Saw some vet pictures and stuff, man.
Capro's like flying around. He sees something out the window.
Yeah, there's a big fluffy like orange and white cat out there when I was walking down.
Oh, so really? That's gotta be why.
That's what he was watching.
He like runs around like trying to look at, thinking he can look at him at the other side.
Yeah. Shit, there's no window over there. Fuck. Let me out the door. Yeah.
Better. And just finished up a session. Blackbone exorcism. That's really good. Awesome,
man.
All good news.
And I still owe you a shipment, man. My apologies on that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Have to send him some t-shirt swag and stuff.
Oh, nice,
to go
man.
With that.
The drug ad one.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to get a size from him.
Those are awesome.
Get one out.
I should have busted mine out again this stream. That would have been awesome.
Did you see the new ones?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
screened last night.
Yeah.
I was screening, yeah.
Tad said, "I love the pedals, Jay. Thanks so much. Those things rule."
Awesome, man.
Which one did you send?
I didn't know you were still running them. That's cool. He's got a Sonic Sword, and he's got the
Jackal?
Yeah, the Jackal.
I want one of those, man. Are you guys a band? Yeah, we play.
Which guys? Whom? Mike has a project that I've forced myself upon.
Yeah, I don't... No, you didn't.
Well, I mean, sorta.
I guess. I don't know. It's like... I don't know. I don't have the courage anymore.
We can't rehearse anymore because there's no service up there. So what we used to do is rehearse and then we would go on the stream. But the leaves grew in on the trees over the studio, and the cell service is very poor, and I still don't have Wi-Fi.
Streaming from HQ here, but we don't really have. I can't really rock out here, so maybe we'll do some acoustic or something. We'll get you like a bongo drum.
Jesus, that would be the worst thing you ever saw. I am not a percussion player.
Let's do it.
So. Christopher, when we play together, I play drums, he plays guitar and sings. I used to play drums in bands, but for the last 5 years I've yelled and played guitar in a band called Surmiser.
Let me see if I can find the live video we did.
And Bobby, to answer your question, I think I've had the chops since about 2000, but I've left them completely untrimmed for about...
Yeah, what is that? That's got to be like 2 years,
yeah,
right?
about 2 years now.
You'd have like a gnarly beard if you didn't cut them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't cut like the beard,
the
like
center out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for because that was cool.
That's awesome. You definitely should get your friend to come through too. It's always more the merrier, and especially somebody who has insight into like the cassette stuff, because there's a lot of questions that come up. About duplication and stuff like that somebody like that who has experience with it would probably be able to answer more articulately than we can.
I'm looking for the live video we did. It was wow, man. It was funny because I felt like when we did that, we're like, yeah, let's do this often, and then we did it that one time. I was actually wanted to put out those. Did you ever send me the live songs we recorded? I wanted to put those out on the Bandcamp.
Recorded?
Yeah. We made we made like
night?
2 albums, yeah. Or 2 live albums.
I don't know if I sent them to you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to grab those from you. You should put them out. I was just thinking about those the other day.
You should put them out, man.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put them up on there. Why not? We've got nothing to lose. I also just wanted to be put out stuff more regularly. Man, I can't find this. I know it's on here.
Is it on there?
It was post.
Or was it the night that we did the stream on...
Oh, Instagram? Yeah.
Instagram.
It was the same night, I think.
Well, we tried to do it on here and it wouldn't go, and then... So we did Instagram, and then we came back and did this.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so where...
Videos here.
Where was I? Which ape called out... Tad called out cat, bro. I don't know where...
He's floating around.
He keeps banging like into me and off the walls.
He's been attacking Jay tonight, which is really funny.
I'm telling you, I think he smells my cat on my shorts, man. That Instagram jam was sweet.
Yeah, that was cool. I really want to. Oh man, it's funny because like, I always sometimes people can't find certain videos on the channel. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like they're like in there. You guys look through the playlist, and now I'm like, I can't even find it. I gotta organize these better.
And you can't even find it. That's not good, Mike.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Not good.
I probably shouldn't even admit to that. But
that's all right. Admitting the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so it's before the Kickstarter. Before that. Oh, here it is. Live on Instagram. Oh, here it is. Okay. Number 26. Let me grab the link to this. Sorry, this took me out of the moment here. This was really fun when we did this. We gotta
I totally forgot.
I've been looking for this for the past like 5 minutes here. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Here we go. This is the one we did live. We're wanting to start doing more stuff like this one. Christopher, we're doing some stuff on the channel, playing, and it's a pretty cool setup. We set up the sound because it's at Jay's studio, so it was like really easy to get just some sound, like simple sounds to mix into the phone, and we had the phone I think in the live room. I mean in the control room.
Yeah, in the control room, looking out the control room window.
Yeah.
Sort of in the middle of the field of the monitors, sort of. But
yeah. And it was like, so it wasn't separated. The sound was pretty decent. We had to go into like that reverb unit. I think the Pioneer you had maybe.
Yeah, didn't I do that in post though? The Pioneer thing.
No, we did it. We did it right on.
Was it live?
It was live because I remember listening to it and having the headphones and like everything was kind of like reverberating.
Oh no, that was Lexicon plugin I was using on that.
Oh really?
Yeah, the one you're thinking of is when we did the Task Vamp video with the thing on each source.
Oh, you're right.
I did do a blend track on that.
Yeah. Those are so fun, man. It's like so crazy doing this stuff on a channel. It's like you do so many of the videos. It's like a blur, man. It's awesome.
Oh, you know what?
Calvin was hollering. Yeah, he was freaking out. The acoustic.
I think it was John that asked me before if anybody had taken me up on the reamping thing. This is going back a while. I forgot to answer that question. No, I've had really no bites into that or on that, unfortunately.
The revamping service?
The reamp service, yeah. I sort of been hoping that, some of that shit would come through, but it seems not.
I think we gotta make a new website for Bohem.
I got so much fucking shit backlogged at this point,
Yeah.
Whatever.
I wanted to make. I can actually. Did you see? I relaunched the 424 recording site. Did I? I don't know if I ever told you that, or if you.
I haven't been there recently.
Maybe I'll add a spot on there that's like services or something, and it's stuff that Jay can do through the channel or something.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to. We bartered a while ago, and I was supposed to build you a site, and I think we kind of.
What did we barter for? See, if you hadn't reminded me, I wouldn't even remember, dude.
I don't remember, man.
I have no idea.
It was like.
I don't know.
I forget what the stipulation was. Oh, maybe it was the amp, because you still had the Silvertone amp.
Oh, that could be that, yeah.
But I remember it made you like we'll make like a landing page or something, and then I think having just the services.
Well, you made me one of those, but at the time I didn't have my hosting squared away.
That's right.
I do have it now.
All right, so we'll figure something out, and then I think, Jeb, thanks for reminding us, because it's like there's so many wheels turning here. It's like, but yeah, if we made a dedicated landing page or something that had the services and had like a way to contact Jay and I, then that would probably be a good way to go about it. Because my dogs. Wait, what? No, Matt. Okay, cool. Oh, link doesn't work. That's weird. Let me see if it works.
I'd really like to be able to reamp people's bass tones and shit, and to get what I was getting out of.
Yeah, man. Why does it sound so splashy though? Facebook like fuck with the quality of it.
Yeah, it's all flanged and shit.
This is we were saying it sounds like Napster.
Yeah,
circa '99.
I don't know why the fuck it did that.
We gotta get that's the other thing I gotta figure out for this setup is I want to be able to just pipe that directly in and then have it.
I don't even think it would help you at this point.
Be like, well, that's what my initial thing was like. That's why I wanted to until I can get the audio set up better.
I wonder if. Do you think if I go up in quality, it would change it?
Yeah, it might. I don't know what the difference is. Alright, let me see if there's another link here.
Still flangey.
Yeah, it's almost like it just compressed. Is that what it just like compressed the shit out of it?
No, it has there's flange and shit on the top end for some reason.
Oh, to me it sounds like when you used to download stuff on like Napster.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
like
it's all cooked.
And it's like
it's cooked.
It's just like the symbols are super artifact. There's like so many artifacts and it's like super splashy.
Yeah.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. I'm just gonna throw this link in here. Oh, we're gonna have a Try this one, Christopher. It's a different one. Later, Oda. Oda's checking out. Okay, yeah. I think we're actually going to be probably wrapping it up too. It's 9 already, Jay.
Oh shit!
We
should.
We've been going hard.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you everybody so much for coming out.
John, send over whatever you're thinking, and we'll talk about it. I'm definitely down to do it. I can try to work that in shortly here.
Do it to it. Still not working. That's weird.
That's super weird.
That's really
works
weird.
For me.
It's very weird that yeah.
Right now on Instagram.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, thanks for coming through. Absolutely not. Thanks, Easy. This is us live the other night. This is a while ago. Yo, our pleasure, John. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for all the conversation and everything. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Absolutely Not. Oda, Easy, Giant Tree, aka Trevor, I believe.
Yep.
Christopher, obviously. Tad coming through. What up, Tad? Hope you're doing well out there. Hope all the kitties are doing okay. Coop coming through. Twin, Bobby.
Hey Tad, when are you gonna do some touring out to the East Coast, man?
Yeah, dude.
Gotta get you out here. Gotta try to meet in person finally, since I'm evidently too broke ass to go West Coast. I have to hope that you come here, man. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming out.
Yeah.
Let me shut this off so that you're able to hear what we're saying. Cool. I'm not sure how loud that is in the mic. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Like, subscribe, email him, 424recording@gmail. Email me, operationaudio@gmail. Like, subscribe. Make sure you do something you want to do.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you. I almost forgot that one.
Yeah.
Friday, I didn't tell you this. I did a collaboration with Snake. He's a this dude, the Digitakt enthusiast from the UK.
Yeah.
We made a drum pack together, so stay tuned for that video.
Oh, and next week you're on vacation.
Oh yeah. Oh, good
next
point.
Week you're on vacation, bro.
I'm on vacation again next week. I've been doing a lot of traveling.
So I'm gonna be hot on my stream next Wednesday at the same time. I'm not sure what my location will be since the studio service is shit. I'm still working on I kind of want to see if I can't take over the music store that I do service work for.
Dude, that's so funny. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll let me do it. I mean,
Does he have Wi-Fi there?
Yeah, there is. I'm kind of thinking if like I bought him like a couple of tall boys or like a good sixer or something, I might be able to persuade him into letting me.
And hey, we could,
Well, they close at 7,
and
so
you could be promoting the shop through the stream.
Yeah, he's going to be on the radio actually on Saturday too.
Oh, cool.
Up in Catskill somewhere, they're going to do promotion.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that would be a great way if he wanted to stream. If he wanted to have, you could run some kind of pre-roll thing that's like, hey, we're just like every once in a while say, hey, we're live at the shop. Here's the, if you're interested.
So I'm playing around with that idea, but I'm not sure where I want to do it from.
So if you want to check this live stream next week, head over to Jay's channel. It's Jay Anderson. You can find his channel. He's the top link on my channel page, Jay Anderson. So if people want to try to find it, just go to my channel page.
And I basically
I'll make a video too that's like reminding people.
It'll basically be what we do here, just sans Mike, and then the week after he'll be back again. And,
we'll be back. Yeah, just 1 week.
And I am still working on putting together content of my own for my own channel, which
I'll force
him to edit at some point because I still don't have the technology. But
dude, I gotta interview Surmiser too. I want to interview you guys about the video about trains we did.
Yeah. Let's do it. So anyway, before we get the ball rolling again, hope you all have a great night. Thanks a lot for coming through.
Thank you so much, guys.
You can catch me on my channel, same bat time as this, next week, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then the following week, we'll be back on the 424 channel, Mike and I together, probably from this locale.
Hell yeah. Good night, guys.
So hopefully we'll see you.
Do something you want to do tonight, and thanks for everybody for coming out.
Yeah.
We'll catch you on the flippity floppity. And don't forget to check out my collaboration with DJ Snake this Friday. Peace.